I have this friend who's been a police officer for decades, and I remember him telling me a story once about him being run over by a suspect's vehicle. So I asked him to tell me that story again, and I asked him if he had any thoughts about what happened in Minnesota. Here's what he said to me. It was early morning, and I was dispatched to check on a suspicious person sitting in a vehicle. It was later determined the individual I encountered was attempting to kill his estranged wife and was parked across the street from where he believed she would be showing up to work. Upon arriving on scene, I approached the driver's window. He was parked at an angle facing a curb on a parkway adjacent to a busy multi-lane roadway. After making initial contact with him, I determined his license plate did not check to the name he had given me, nor to the vehicle it was affixed on. While I was standing behind the vehicle talking to the dispatcher, I had observed a rifle laying next to him on top of the center console, running into the back seat. At this point, I reapproached the driver's door and I asked him to step out of the vehicle. He immediately, without warning, started his car and backed out of the parking spot, catching me under his front wheel while I was attempting to pull him through the driver's window. Once I was on the ground, I drew my weapon as I was now approximately 15 feet in front of his vehicle after he backed out. The suspect made eye contact with me as he shifted into drive and turned his wheels to the left. I could have shot him. However, I clearly saw he was turning his wheels away from me and attempting to flee and not trying to run me over again, so I did not fire. To be clear, I was seriously injured as my left leg was crushed and required 3 surgeries over the course of 18 months. I was not gently bumped. Despite my injuries, I still understood there was no longer a threat to me and I did not fire. The entire incident from him starting his vehicle to him driving away occurred in less than 5 seconds, yet there was plenty of time for me to reflect on my use of force. I have watched the Minnesota video from every angle multiple times and have a lot of problems with it. First, from a tactical standpoint, he should have never crossed in front of the vehicle as he gained no tactical advantage and only created a risk to himself, and yet he does so twice. Second, despite being bumped by the vehicle before he fired the first shot, he was clearly not in danger by the time his gun leaves his holster, let alone when he fires the first shot. Just like it was obvious to me when I was lying on the ground and made eye contact with the suspect, you could clearly see Renee Good turning her steering wheel and attempting to leave. She was not attempting to run anyone over. There is absolutely no justification for shots 2 and 3. There was clearly no threat at that point. Following the shooting, he walks up to Renee's vehicle and looks in the driver's window before walking off without administering aid. That action was just callous and unprofessional. Federal courts analyzing deadly force claims consistently hold that an officer may not justify shooting a driver solely by danger the officer created themselves, such as stepping into the path of a vehicle and then firing to avoid being struck. In my view, the first shot constitutes at least manslaughter. The second and third shots probably make this second-degree murder.